welcome to At America. We are the U.S. Embassy's American Center here in Jakarta, Indonesia. This is a place where you can explore, experience, and express the U.S. culture, building bridges between Indonesia and the United States. And hello, everyone. My name is Naura, and I will be your MC for today's event, At America Academy Musical Theater Fundamentals. Can we give a big round of applause? Yes. Today, we're going to discover the fundamentals element of musical theater, explore Broadway's global influence, and also hear firsthand insights from an American-trained industry professional. But before we get started, let's kick things off with the question of the day for our online audience. And the question is, which of these musical features the song Defying Gravity? Is it A, The Lion King, B, Wicked, C, Chicago, or D, Hamilton? Think you know the answer? Submit it in our social media platforms, and by the end of today's event, we will give a special shout out for you who can guess it correctly. And now it's time to learn more about what goes on behind the magic of musical theater. Our facilitator and also speaker for today is a director and choreographer who will take us through the fundamental elements of musical theaters, Broadway's global influence, and share firsthand insight from his experience as an American trained industry professional. So everyone, without any further ado, please give a big warm of applause for our speaker, Kak Pasha Prakasa.
Halo, selamat malam. Saya awalnya dikasih tahu katanya banyakin bahasa Indonesianya, jangan bahasa Inggris. So I'm confused because you spoke full English. I'm lost. Mix gak apa ya? Oke. I'm comfortable either way. Selamat malam semua, selamat malam yang ada di online dan yang ada di sini. Biasanya I like to begin dengan actually bertanya kepada yang hadir di sini dan yang mungkin di online. Kenapa kalian ada di sini? I guess what do you want to know? I guess it's my way of wanting this to be sort of like a beneficial thing for you guys. Jadi kalau memang misalnya ada pertanyaan khusus spesifik yang nantinya mungkin tidak terjawab atau tidak disiapkan, I can tell you directly gitu. So while you think of that question kayak, kesini karena pengen tahu tentang ini gitu. Just let me know please, kita santai aja informal. But before I get into the gist of, I guess, musical theater, I'm supposed to also talk about myself. dan gue nggak bikin deck buat itu. It feels weird to have a deck on yourself. So I was actually raised in America dari SD, SMP, SMA, kuliah, fresh grad, S2, dan setelah COVID I'm here. How I got into musical theater is actually kind of apa ya? Dibilang by chance juga enggak, dibilang usaha juga iya. Jadi S1 saya di Ohio University, I took communication studies, media studies, and then also theater on the side. Tapi di Ohio, it was more theater as in plays dan production ya, bukan musical. Lalu setelah lulus S1, saya dapat kerjaan pertama saya di majalah, magang dulu di 17 Magazine. Lalu job pertama saya di InStyle Magazine di New York. Pindahlah ke New York, nggak terbang, sorry, gini nyetir. With my old Toyota Tercel tahun 98 yang udah tidak diproduce at the time. So yeah, I drove to New York with my roommate yang juga dari Ohio juga, yang juga dapat kerjaan di New York. So it was like, oh my God, this is our dream. So we drove from Athens, Ohio to New York City. With our dreams, and then yeah, we lived in New York, kerja, and then aku kerja di majalah di kantor, nggak ngetik sih, and then I was like, look, I'm in the biggest city in the world, the center of musical theater. I think I should really step in it gitu, and I did that, and I started taking classes, and I joined a program through Manhattan Marymount College. Mereka ada musical theater program. So while I was working full time, I was studying musical theater to be a performer. Karena I guess that was sort of the dream in my early 20s. Um, but going back, ketika lahir di Jakarta, my first exposure to musical theater was through the Sound of Music video VHS yang sekarang waktu itu udah kusut karena sering banget di rewind and fast forward, right? I was obsessed with the Sound of Music. Um, and as a kid in the 80s, yeah, I was born in 81. As a kid in the 80s, nonton itu kayak pengen banget to be a part of that world. But how? Jakarta di tahun 80-an, you know. And then even when I was in high school, lulusan dari Walt Whitman High School di Bethesda, Maryland, I told my parents bahwa mau jurusan performing arts. Ya, typical Indonesian parents, right? Mau jadi kerja apa lu nanti sampai Jakarta gitu. They always think kayak we're gonna end up back in Jakarta. They're not wrong. Look at me here. I'm back here. But it's true. I was in a sense I was antara naif, nekat dan I don't know, passionate I guess. Kayak lulus SMA aku tuh in the late 90s. I was 99. So 97, sophomore, junior year is kind of where you decide what major in college kan. I was like, performing arts. Imagine tahun 98, keadaan di Jakarta kayak apa coba? 98, ingat kan? The audacity for this young boy performing arts, right? Sementara di Jakarta seperti itu keadaannya di tahun 98. So, yeah, I did what most Asian or Indonesian kids do, akhirnya ke jalan yang benar, right? But that calling kept sort of calling, I guess. Jadi di New York, kembali ke New York, join the program, and disitulah kayak, oh okay, the tools, the methods and the network. So I was actually in the same class dengan Jenna Ushkovitz. I don't know if anyone here is a Glee fan. A Glee fan. The Asian girl that plays Tina Konchang, she's my classmate. Di situ. And she wasn't in Glee then, but we were in the same class. Anyway, so I finished that program. Nah, there was a time while I was working and auditioning. Di musical theater atau di New York tuh ada namanya audition season, right? So I just kept going, pede aja. And mind you, this was during the time musical theater or Broadway even at the time belum se-inklusif sekarang, right? So those who look like me have only particular shows that we can get into. One of them, Miss Saigon. Apalagi ya? I forget, but there are like 3 others or 2 others. Luckily me, I can actually audition untuk the shows like the Latin shows or the Hispanic shows. Itu aku masih bisa. They let me in. But I was non-equity, right? So I was attending all the open calls di mana kita harus ngantri just to get yourself in the door. Right, you get yourself in the door, and then if you kalau resume kamu or your appearance tidak sesuai dengan apa yang mereka cari, then they'll probably let you go. Kayak nggak akan dimasukin. But for some shows, I was let in, and then the audition experience happened. It was an experience yang apa ya, sangat berguna sekali buat saya, apalagi sekarang profesi saya di sini, gitu. Being on that side, and then having that experience in front of a panelist, yang again, back in the day, very tough, right? To impress, very tough to get your foot in the door. Of all the hundreds, not hundreds, cuman puluhan, because I was non-equity. Of all the puluhan auditions that I got, one or two masuk. And I remember when I did Hairspray di Jakarta tahun 2019, we brought in a Broadway director namanya Brandon Bieber, and he shared his story about audition. He's a handsome Caucasian man, very talented. Dia sendiri bilang, I auditioned for hundreds of a hundred auditions lebih, tapi hanya 10% saya dipanggil atau nggak even get the part. So imagine, the cake and the slices that get ini dibagi-bagi dengan kita semua. So long story short, that experience membuat saya pribadi merasa kayak, I think this is what they mean when they say, first is a new appreciation kepada kota New York, right? Everybody's there trying to ini, and I think that shaped how I am here, trying to build musical theater di Jakarta, gitu. Having that same fighting spirit. So there's that. Then I did a couple shows through those auditions. The beberapa kali yang lolos masuk, not many. Itu I did Miss Saigon. I did Open Doors. This show it's an off Broadway show yang akhirnya mereka tour ke Brazil. Yang aku nggak bisa join karena of visa situation. Tapi the New York Times picked up that show and wrote a wonderful review about it. And this story, which I didn't expect nantinya, will matter to me yang, wah ternyata that happened for a reason. So, jump forward ke setelah aku lulus S2, so 2015. So this has maybe kurang lebih 5 to 10 years has passed, kan? I lulus S2, and I was talking to an immigration lawyer, because I was getting job offers setelah lulus S2 itu. I went to Fashion Institute of Technology. I took global fashion management. So it was actually international business untuk the retail industry, completely off the ini. But I was still in New York, so musical theater was always like there. But I was talking to an immigration lawyer, and then I was just consulting as to what are my options, I wonder, right? I have offers, this and that. So long story short, due to the work that I have done over the years, they discovered and they told me that I was eligible for the O1 visa, which is they call it the artist visa or the extraordinary visa. But this was back in 2015. So we pursued that. And one of the eligible evident, they call it, was through the work that I did, yang dipublish oleh New York Times itu. Because one of the requirements was your work needs to be published, or you need to work with somebody who is recognizable or has published work yang benar-benar prominent itu. So they were able to make the case of that. So disitulah akhirnya how I got to do things di sana. I wanted to make sure I was first legal and able to do that. I know a lot of musical theater students atau students in general yang di Indonesia yang di sana yang setelah OPT mereka kembali ke sini gitu, which I did that too. But yeah, I'm not going to get into more visa story, but I think it's great that I had that experience also to be able to obtain the artist visa. Any questions so far? Jadi aku pindah ke Jakarta itu setelah COVID. So COVID actually I was in New York. 2020 I was in New York, and then terus Everything shut down di sana. Broadway was the first to hit. I remember it was March 3rd kalau nggak salah, atau 13 ya. Then my mom was like, udah kamu pulang dulu aja ke Jakarta, ngungsi aja dulu di sini, and then come back when it's open again. I'm like, okay, kita di Jakarta at the time, Jakarta kan Indonesia salah satu negara yang belum tutup terakhir, kalau nggak salah, one of the last ones. Kita nggak ada COVID di sini karena musim panas, virus juga nggak mau ada di sini gitu kan. So I was like, great, yeah. Pulang ke Jakarta, thinking that I'm only gonna be here for a couple weeks, maybe a month, until COVID's gone, and then negara semua kebuka lagi, the world went back. Guess what? I haven't been back since. Dari March 3 atau 13 2020 sampai sekarang, I have not been back in the US. Sadly, but it's been, on the other hand, I feel like I'm finding the reason why. Jadi sejak 2020 sampai sekarang ini, aku merasa, atau maybe kita merasa, the musical theater di Jakarta atau Indonesia is growing. And I'm very happy and I'm very comfortable in that I am a part of that rasanya saat ini. So yes, that's how I guess my story, my background is. And I think my intention now moving forward di sini adalah, from what I had experienced di sana, how is it that I'm able to craft it here, gitu. So I think that's more of today's content, what have you. Yeah, a journey through musical theater, I guess my journey, and then kita get into a little bit of the history, and then the craft as to what makes a show musical, you know. And then it's growing home in Indonesia. Coba aku nanya kepada kalian, what makes a show a musical? What do you think? Why do we call it a musical? I'm supposed to check this iPad thing, karena mungkin ada yang online atau ada yang mau take a guess? Because it has music? Okay, so does concert. Yes? Combination of theater, acting and music. Okay? Yeah. Apa lagi? Is it just combining acting and singing and dancing? Is it just that? Yeah. You're getting there. I know what you're thinking. I'll take it. So why do we call it a musical? Because the story is not simply spoken, it is felt. Well, this is coming from my perspective, y'all, okay? Meaning that like what I like to see or feel or happen when I go see a musical, gitu. So I like to say that the dialogue tells us what happens, right? Kita nonton play, all dialogue. Great. Music tells us why it matters. Meaning, in a musical, when a dialogue happens and then music comes in and the actor starts to sing, that should be an elevated moment, right? That should be like, yes, I feel you. It should be that. Because dialogue is not enough. Kalau bisa dialog tidak enough dan perlu dinyanyiin, then you sing. And then shows us what words cannot. Yeah, sometimes our body, kita harus berserah kepada Yang Maha Kuasa bahwa badan ini punya bahasa sendiri dan bisa berbicara sendiri. Even if kita tidak pengen dia berbicara atau apapun. They just move or they just feel. So a musical is a form where story, music, and performance become one dramatic language. Jadi komponen-komponen ini menjadi sebuah satu, aku nyebutnya bahasa, satu bahasa, bukan satu kayak apa ya, bukan satu not yet seni gitu loh, bukan pertunjukan. It's still a language, it's still a tool. But before Broadway, people were already combining music, story, dance itu dari zaman Bahala. Bahala bahasa Inggrisnya apa? Ancient years, there you go. So the musical did not begin on Broadway. Ada dari zaman Yunani, from the ancient Greece, operetta, and the vaudeville era dari Eropa, Prancis, like variety shows, combining comedy, songs. So all of this jadi dari Eropa tuh sudah mempunyai komponen-komponen musik, story, dan teater ini yang akhirnya ini menjadi evolusi. So that's what it is. Broadway atau musical theater is not an invention, it is an evolution. It's an evolution that happened on Broadway. Yes. So Broadway becomes home for the form. Broadway, as we know it, New York's theater district di Times Square, popular entertainment yang sebenarnya isinya bukan teater saja, ada show-show lainnya. Salah satu musical pertama American musical shows ada Showboat yang pertama integrates story and character. Tapi lalu ada Oklahoma, show pertamanya Rodgers and Hammerstein tentang Oklahoma ketika dia mau menjadi negara bagian dan menceritakan tentang kehidupan farmers dan cowboy, almost like Romeo and Juliet tapi dari dua kubu ini yang lalu mereka menceritakan tentang social challenges-nya. Nah itu the modern integrated musical model. Itu yang udah nari, udah nyanyi, udah acting. And then my favorite, you have the golden age. You got Guys and Dolls, My Fair Lady, West Side Story. And then berikutnya ada the contemporary eras yang sekarang rock, rap dengan Hamilton. Now it's everywhere. So when the musical learned to tell a complete story, Oklahoma mengajarkan kita bahwa songs are part of character and plot. West Side Story mengajarkan kita bahwa dance becomes dramatic storytelling. This was actually, West Side Story is actually one of my favorites juga. Choreographernya, atau saudara choreographer itu Jerome Robbins. Benar-benar familiar dengan West Side Story? Go watch it now. Menggunakan physical body atau dance untuk bercerita antara, again, dua kubu. Mereka berantem dengan menari. Seandainya tawuran begitu. Wow, amazing. And then, the sound of music, musical becomes a global popular form. Yang VHS yang aku bilang, yang aku kusut karena sering di ini. So, there was a shift dari a show with songs and a story that needs song. Jadi ada perubahan dengan pertunjukan yang ada lagu-lagunya dengan sebuah pertunjukan yang memiliki cerita yang butuh lagu. Gitu. That's the shift of, I guess, evolution of musical theater. So I'd like to say that kita mungkin sering merefer Broadway as the ultimate reference or the ultimate goal or like ini apa ya itulah the destination and it's because Broadway mempunyai certain what are these? These are these things, which I'll explain, yang hanya terjadi di musikal teater. Contohnya the I Want song. So ketika kita mau bikin musikal, bikin naskahnya, usually the creative team meeting, dan kita selalu membahas, so I Want songnya dia apa? Which is a character sings the desire that drives the story. So anytime you watch a musical, stage or film, coba deh, wonder if you can spot the I Want songnya apa. You know, it's usually the main character kayak, this is me, this is my dream, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is why I do it, right? And then he goes through his journey, challenges happen, this and that, and so usually, every musical has an I Want song from the character. And these songs are usually amazing. Showstopper, a song designed to electrify the room. Yeah. Favorite musical songs? Anybody want to say their favorite musical songs? Ada yang punya? Lady Marmalade. Yeah. Okay. Don't Stop, Hairspray. Wait. Yes. Yes. Showstopper itu usually, bukan usually, maksudnya ada is the climax. Okay, misalnya kalau Hairspray itu, You Can't Stop the Beat. There's that song. Terus ada, what else? I'm going back on my reference. Kalau di musikal Keluarga Cemara, I would say it's bahagia ya. That's the showstopper. Usually karena itu showstopper, kita banyak reprise-nya, banyak diulang-ulang throughout the show and it becomes the motif. Nomor 3, ensemble. Hanya di musikal teater yang namanya kita punya ensemble, di mana a community can become a character. Yes. Ensemble di sini kalau di cast list kita tulisnya ensemble, cuman their role is much bigger than what we think they are. Mereka nge-represent the audience, karena the audience are sitting there watching you, being a community, and I think that's what musical theater is all about, is being a community dan how we tell a story representing a community. So very important to have an ensemble dalam sebuah show. Motifs and reprises, ini sama juga yang tadi aku bilang, music returns with new meaning as the story changes. Jadi kayak misalnya di Keluarga Cemara, ada reprises happen untuk karakter Iis, melodi misalnya melodinya sama atau tapi liriknya beda. So that happens in a musical. Spectacle, design, choreography, and technology expand the world. These are, you know, the visual, the artistic that happen in the theater. So all of these are key elements that we hold on to, yang sort of becomes the structure or the format for musical theater yang dipakai di Broadway. So then Broadway became more than a street, it became a template. Itu tadi mau bilang, pattern, template yang tadi bilang. Di London ada West End, Jepang ada Takarazuka Shiki, Australia touring shows, Korea Seoul musical scene, ini mereka, they're great. I went to see their local shows and I went to see their licensed shows, pakai dengan bahasa Korea, they're great. They're very good, very good. And then there's Southeast Asia, including Jakarta. We have Broadway licensed shows yang mulai di-adapt ke bahasa Indonesia. Yang terakhir itu Chicago, and actually it worked. It worked. Before that, that was the first ever licensed show yang translated ke bahasa Indonesia. Sebelumnya masih pakai bahasa Inggris. It worked. So for us practitioners merasa, oh, we can actually explore this more. Imagine all the other Broadway shows with great stories that we can sort of translate, and then it becomes a relatable thing. Because anything that you translate itu rasanya beda, and then it becomes, although ceritanya di luar, because it's translated, it feels closer to home. A Broadway musical changes when it crosses border. Ya, tadi gue bilang, when things are translated, language, humor, history, music, values, itu semua sort of transcended and they translate into emotion. This is why a musical can feel both familiar and completely local even when it's not. Jadi kemarin tuh nonton Chicago, that was so interesting about it. Again, personal opinion. This is all cerita Roxy and Velma, but then it feels homey because of language. So I think that's also the power of live theater, right? Live music, the energy that you get, who's on stage, and everyone being in the same room, strangers being in the same room, having this collective energy and expectations. I would like to say that while Broadway influenced us a lot, secara commercial production models, yes, that's the ideal. Spectacular, great venues, right? And then the star system and marketing, musical storytelling conventions, touring and licensing culture, all of this is template structure formats that they have perfected that we can learn from, but also localize and see what works and what doesn't work di sini. Gitu. At least that's what we're trying to do. But well, at the same time, on the other hand, I feel like the rest of the world is also inspiring Broadway in that we have we can offer new musical voices, global casting and creators, dan ini sudah mulai terjadi sih dari, I guess in the last 10 years. New sounds and cultural stories, as we are seeing more an all Asian cast on Broadway, itu mulai ada. So we're very proud of that. And obviously international productions. So the future of musical theater is increasingly international, and we hope to include Indonesia in that. Why musical theater matters? Because it turns a room full of strangers into one audience. I said this. Yes, emotion. Kita nonton teater bareng dalam satu ruangan, ngerasain musiknya bareng-bareng, feels great. It's like being in a concert. Memory, a melody can stay long after the story ends. I think this is why I also gravitate to musicals more than plays. Karena the power of music moved me more than words. A community, an ensemble creates a shared heartbeat on stage and the audience. Then local stories can become universal through form. Ya, jadi seperti waktu saya ngerjain musical Keluarga Cemara, it is definitely, everything is local content, let's not call it local content. Indonesian story kan, Indonesian talent, Indonesian crew, Indonesian IP. the structure and the format and the system itu I use what I learned waktu di New York. Etika audisinya gimana, mereka ngantri, making sure mereka nggak ngantri terlalu lama, this and that, you know. And then the filing system, the paperwork, stage management system, excuse me, all of that itu yang we had to learn by doing waktu kami ngerjain Hairspray pertama kali di 2019 dengan ada tim teater musikal Nusantara, di mana I met with a team of teman ini yang mereka belajar dari Singapura. And then we shared notes as to what I learned in New York and what they learned in Singapore. Ternyata itu template-nya sama. Dalam arti kayak stage management system, paperwork, filing system, audition process, etikanya gimana, tentang rehearsal ada etikanya, ada prosesnya, ada caranya, how you conduct rehearsal professionally and properly, itu ternyata sama. What they had learned in their school di di Singapura, and what I had learned in mine in New York. So that structure and that template becomes a global thing, then shared through musical theater education. Disitulah akhirnya kita dengan tim kita pada saat itu ngajarin ke stage managers yang belum pernah expose dengan musical, belum pernah ngerjain musikal, but we had to teach them and also learn by doing bahwa yeah, let's try this process. This is how they do it over there. Let's try to adapt it here. Since then, sampai sekarang, we've done a few shows yang akhirnya sistem-sistem itu ada yang bekerja dan mostly bekerja semua dengan baik. Dalam arti kayak it's kondusif, it's efektif dan efisien untuk kita bikin show yang long running, yang more than just a weekend show. So I think that's what makes Broadway great adalah they're able, in my opinion, they're able to do that more so than like the talent, the spectacular artistic things and the show itself, because that's all of that is creative, which I think we have that too here. Cuman yang kita lack adalah yaitu the structure, the forms, the right way to do it, the human way to do it. So I think that's what we are still trying to penetrate kepada the community or the production companies di sini. So I think in Indonesia we don't need to become Broadway, we can become ourselves. Karena Indonesia, as we know it, udah punya banyak amazing things like traditional performance, pop, contemporary music, dance traditions, rich local stories, a huge young audience. So if we milk that and cook it using the recipe that Broadway, that we learned from Broadway, or the Broadway taught the world, I think we'll have amazing shows di sini. So I guess if you ask me why I'm here since COVID dan nggak balik-balik ke US, I guess I'm seeing the opportunity di mana I'm trying to build musicals that are locally rooted, artistically ambitious, and globally legible. Karena bukan ternyata, template-template yang Broadway taught us is global. So hopefully, di sini cara kita untuk bisa menghidupkan local stories and then again menjadi tontonan banyak orang, locally and non-locally. So I say the stage is a language. Broadway gave the world a powerful grammar, tadi structure, da 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 da. But every generation, I feel, anywhere, gets to write its own story. So I feel like this is where I'm at personally di Jakarta. Kenapa? Why my mom's like, udah di Jakarta aja karena di sini panas, nggak ada virus COVID, and I'm stuck here ever since. I feel like I'm here with everyone else in the musical theater community trying to write a story. So that's my deck, everyone. Thank you. I take any question tentang anything. This is apparently part 1. Next week, I'm back here for part 2, where I think I'll get into tentang pelaku-pelaku dan perorangannya, and how you can be involved in musical theater, how you get your foot in the door di sini sebagai performer maupun stage managers atau behind the scene atau writers. And let me tell you, we are looking for people, writers, composers, musicians, selalu. It's the demand is growing, but the supply itu kita masih saring-saring. So the opportunity is there, everybody. But that's I'll get into that nanti next week. Kalau ada pertanyaan, silahkan. Yes.
Selamat malam Kak Pasha.
Malam.
Saya Gregorius. Kak boleh cerita dikit ya?
Boleh.
Kayaknya kita connecting and we're meant to meet here tonight.
Amin.
By the way, 2019 tadi kakak mention bahwa kakak salah satu orang di balik Hairspray. I was there at Ciputra Artpreneur watching. Tapi nggak tahu kalau salah satu orang di baliknya adalah kakak. Dan 2 tahun silam, 2024, saya ikutan audisi untuk ruang kreatif intensif musikal budaya.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I failed lah, gitu.
Okay.
Jadi, but back then, I saw that you would be one of the choreographer di setelah rekrutmen itu. Jadi waktu lihat nama kakak Pasha ini familiar kayak waktu gua audisi 2024 nih gitu kan.
Okay.
So my question now is, if someone approach you for tips when he or she wants to join an online audition, what would you suggest to her or him? Yeah, thank you.
Great question. Online audition. Oh, that's such a post-COVID question. Okay, actually, good question. Karena that's actually a content for next week, but for you, I'll do it now. Berarti sorry, kamu waktu 2024 tuh audisinya untuk IMB kayaknya ya? Untuk, iya, itu yang program yang panjang itu kan, pelatihan panjang. Oke. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think that's what that's for. Please apply again. Please. No, I'm honestly speaking. Okay, online audition. Okay, can I tell you a secret? Hanya di ruangan ini. Do not share it. Sometimes. Gue juga takut. Sometimes producers minta online audition untuk marketing hype. Yeah. So, but the search itself is valid. The search itself is valid. Maksudnya adalah ya, produser ingin gimana ya? They measure you know, success or whatever it is in the audition process maksudnya through seberapa engagement, social media, this and that happen. Tapi itu kan berbeda dari tujuan audition itself, right? For directors, for choreographers, kreatif tim beda. Kita benar-benar butuh cari orang yang bisa menghidupkan karakter-karakter ini, right? So, kadang itu menjadi juga tanggung jawab kami, sutradara, koreografer, musik director dan vocal director, di mana yes, this is a marketing tool, the online audition situation, but how can we still objectively find these people and making sure it's a fair process. And that's always been a challenge. Karena satu di Jakarta, for me, in my opinion, dunia kan kecil, komunitasnya masih kecil. Yang orang-orang di musikal itu masih sedikit banget. Sedikit banget. Me personally, aku sudah banyak kenal tanda kutip anak-anak musikal ini. I've worked with them through different shows. Ganti-ganti orang, this and that, this and that. A lot of them I teach. Maksudnya a lot of them are my students, so I know them. Di Jakarta tuh kalau online audition masih akhirnya ya mereka-mereka juga yang partisipasi. In which I already know them. But to be fair, produser belum kenal. Atau mungkin ada beberapa pihak yang belum kenal karena it's not just us. Tapi sometimes for me, I don't need to see them. I really don't, because I already know them. And it's not about whether the online video itu bagus atau enggak, this and that. Kadang for me adalah, he's fighting for this. The same way I fought waktu aku ngantri di zaman bahala itu untuk to get an open call audition. It's that same fighting spirit, which I think it's valid to ask for di anak-anak zaman sekarang, I must say. But to answer your question, tips untuk online audition. One, do your research on what the show is and what are the characters. Usually kalau online audition itu dikasih lagu, show-nya apa dikasih lagu doang, tidak di-assign karakter, ya kan? Find out ada karakter apa aja di show itu. And then if you have a karakter yang, oh, that's me, or I want to be that, I feel like I can pull that off. Then find out about that character. So a lot of this research. Lihat ininya, dia di cerita ini, dia karakter ini journey-nya seperti apa, without needing to read the script. Biasanya ada ini. So then you get a sense of idea, fundamentally orang ini tuh karakternya itu seperti apa. Then try to sing the song, whatever song they assign you, with that character in mind. But not, and this is where it comes grayish, tapi juga jangan kamu di situ mengambil keputusan atau menunjukkan bahwa kamu mengambil keputusan, gue audisi untuk karakter ini. While you think that's great, that's actually limiting us into believing you can do other things. Paham nggak? Jadi it's sort of like, okay, I know I'm eligible for this character yang aku udah research dan ada. Let me be that and give a hint of that. Tapi juga give enough of your best version supaya kita juga bisa melihat, oh no, I think he could be other things. He could be maybe that character. Or we have a character yang tidak ada di situ, di main cast itu. So, yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, cuman, yeah. Tapi kalau technically, making sure your camera angle benar, background jangan sibuk, jangan berkostum, face clear, great camera, whatever the brand is of your phone. But yeah, that also matters. Karena kalau misalnya kameranya kita langsung skip. Yeah. But I understand that's another thing kayak asking people to bikin video dance. It's tough karena you're asking people to move furnitures around atau rent studio, you know, having space is a luxury. Jadi anytime aku bisa challenge a producer, di sini ada producer deh kayaknya di ruangan ini. Aku takut. I like to challenge them. Perlu nggak sih? You know, people don't have the privilege of having space in their house atau di mana jangan sampai nyewa studio karena sebenarnya all of that can be replaced by showing up really. You know, kita bikin audisi datang, which I think is more effective. Yeah, I think it's more effective because you get a physical look, you get energy, you get a lot of things that you don't get from an online video, and you get to have conversation. That's the most important thing. Kayak, why are you here? You know, why do you want to do this? And what's your background? I think, I don't know. I am untuk proses ini I'm old school for audition process kayak because I remember my journey gitu kayak audisi itu begini ya, wow. And I like to keep that structure because it's valid and it works. Hanya saja yang tidak kurang manusiawi adalah kalau antri berjam-jam terus sampai di pintu kita ditolak. It's tough. Yeah, they can do it there karena mereka sudah luar biasa. I feel like kita itu kurang sesuai dengan kita dan budaya kita. So usually kita pakai appointments. Slot ini kalian milih. So yes, we are kinder a bit. Ada lagi? Yes.
Hello, perkenalkan, my name is Alaya. A little bit about myself. I really like performing. I did take some classes when I was a kid, like mostly dance classes, some singing classes, and some acting classes, but like not as like a whole musical class altogether. So I've only been into like proper like musical theater performing like only just for the past few months. But on the other hand, I also like I really have an active brain, so I really like to do things like behind the scenes. Like I like to write. I like to. I actually did write kind of a musical for like this show in Newcastle, but it's like a show where it introduces Indonesian culture to the local people. I did that. I contributed. It's like an annual show, and I contributed like 4 times, like 4 years. My question is, how do you? I mean, personally, because I'd like to be involved in this community, but I'm not sure like in what division exactly. And my question is like which one, like how can I like choose which one to focus on exactly, and like where to start. Basically, that's like generally my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alaya. Ooh, I like that name. And you have a great alto speaking voice. I like that. How do you get into the community di sini? And what? How you discover what am I right for gitu ya? Have you heard the saying that if you don't know who to hire a theater kid? there's you know, people say that kayak hire a theater kid if you want your business to be successful, because theater kids usually they can do everything, or the fighting spirit of making things work and then doing whatever, yang penting show must go on and jadi, you know, there's that attitude, and it's actually taught in school, di mana dalam musical theater itu collaborative efforts is key. Satu, teamwork. Kedua, um, apa? The show must go on ini, bahwa anything happens, stand up and continue. So all of that is actually di apa ya? Bukan di doktrin, ya semacam di doktrin tapi positif. Di community atau di even in community theater. I did community theater di New York. Iya seperti itu. It's like a shared values yang nggak pernah disampaikan ke kita secara formal. It's interesting. It's interesting. So I'd say for you, if kalau bisa kamu nggak tahu di bagian apa, try everything. Just try everything. You'll find, which is banyak sekali dari tim stage management kita yang backgroundnya misalnya lulusan UPH vocal music gitu, di vocal performance, tapi fokusnya, and then she sings very well operatically. Operatically, is that a word? Yeah, you get what I mean. Tapi dia sekarang she's a very good stage manager. Stage SM di stage manager, tim stage management itu including dari crew sampai ngurusin cast, sampai ngurusin props, wings kanan, wings kiri, the whole technical things, and then paling atas ngurusin the whole production. It's a very, 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 very tough department, a very skillful department juga. But di situ, di bagian itu di mana you're exposed to everything. Gitu. Kalau misalnya kayak, obviously kalau bagian wardrobe, you're sort of working with costume, fashion, style, this and that. And then kalau di bagian musik, unless you play an instrument, you could be a rehearsal accompanist, assistant to music directors, or tim naskah. Ooh, Skip writer, do you like to write? You said you like to write. I encourage you to join the writing team somewhere. We need writers. Not in theater, I feel like everywhere. Film, theater, ooh, we need good writers. We wouldn't have jobs tanpa writers. I'd be nganggur kalau nggak ada penulis. Honestly. Singers, actors would be nganggur kalau nggak ada penulis. Well, maybe not singers, I don't know. Yeah. So, kalau aku bisa ngedoktrin kamu, menulis. But, explore. How to join? Community, ada. Approach them. They welcome you. Yeah. Minggu depan sih, yang tanggal Agustus 2026 itu, we'll get into the individual roles in theater, and then I guess, yeah, how to get your foot in there. But yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? Masih ada 6 menit. Ada pertanyaan? Yes. Hello.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you because
you're welcome.
I've only heard about Broadway. I've been to New York. I've seen the Broadway theaters, but this is like getting to know your whole story, and you told it in such a skillful way. So it was really cool. It was like seeing it from the front seat. So thank you for being
thank
so
you.
candid. Second of all, actually, me and my wife, we both are here because our daughter enjoys singing, dancing, and I think so. She's in that Sound of Music phase that you said. She's watching it like every day, non-stop. And we were here just to figure out because, yeah, as you said, like Broadway is so big in New York, and it just feels like so far from here, you know. And because our daughter is really interested, I was thinking like, what are some of the avenues or opportunities? Because she's in first grade, so she's really young. in a way which is like suitable for her, so she can engage with, like, yeah, like you said, it's like community, it's like the energy, or something. Like if you can say like how we can engage with that in Jakarta, that would be cool.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm not a parent, but I'm an uncle of four. He's 17, 15, 10, and then the youngest is 5. Um, anyway, I think one is letting her discover what she actually loves and enjoy, and then if she gravitates to the sound of music, uh, maybe if you I, this is I'm trying to like put myself in her shoe when I was ini terus kayak I wonder what I would like my parents to notice gitu kan. I think if you notice that whether this is what element dari film from the Sound of Music that she gravitates to. Is it the dance? Is it the music? Is it the story? Or is it the sound? Or is it, if then, but in fact, whatever it is, then I think, and then you'll see kaya what she gravitates to nanti berikutnya. And then untuk first grade itu that's 7-year-old, 7-year-old. So I've taught community theater groups. I think as young as 7. Yeah, di Jakarta ada High Jakarta Production, ada R&D where they train them sing and dance and act. And then they do annual shows. So I think if your daughter is a part of that community, she'll find peers who share the same things. But again, I feel like letting her discover what she enjoys and why. Because sometimes, and then maybe ask her if she would like to join a group or a community. Because I probably wouldn't say yes. I'd probably say no. I'd be like, no, I don't want to join. Honestly speaking, because I'd like this to be my world, and I'm sort of cultivating and like cooking inside whatever this is. Then, truthfully, it hasn't given me any output, meaning, apa ya, hasn't been, what's the right word? I did not see the outcome of what I had cultivated from when I was there until I'm in my late 30s, to be honest. Okay, I always, let this cultivate inside of me, and then, ya udah, it's a side thing. It's been a side thing for me, right? I was working full time, and then doing this on the side. It's always been like a side hobby, a side thing, until one day it shifted. There was a period in my life, 5 tahun, 5 years. I was working for I was working in remotely. I was working for a New York company, but I was able to work remotely. So I was traveling here and there. Those 5 years mattered to me the most because it changed, I guess, the trajectory of my career. That's where the shift happened. I was able to turn my hobby into my full-time job now. Hadn't been for that period, I don't know if I'd be here, to be honest, because I was able to invest more in terms of my time, skill, energy to learn and to perfect this craft. And then my job became a nighttime thing. I was working New York hours, tapi with Jakarta time zone. I wasn't sleeping, but I was happy because I was finally realizing, oh, I get to do the things I love during the daytime and get paid for it. So that was the shift. So yeah, just letting her. If she loves to be in a group, then great. If she doesn't, then that's great too, because maybe her time will come in another time. Mine certainly didn't come early. Yeah. You're welcome. Aku bingung. Is it over? Tadi ada 5, 4 merah. Am I turning into a pumpkin? Any last question? Or yes? Jadi banyak. Yeah, go ahead, silahkan. Ya.
Selamat malam Kak.
Malam.
Jadi saya ingin tanya kalau jadi saya memang udah pingin pergi ke Broadway ya.
Pergi mana?
Pingin pergi ke area Broadway.
Oke.
Nah saya pingin tanya aja karena saya takut kalau kayak unprepared gitu dan kayak so right now I am trying to like gain as many information as I can. Like what do I actually need to prepare biar bisa actually get into the industry. Like also like in actually just like kayak misalnya how to prepare, well just be what yeah, gitu aja deh.
How to prepare? What do you want to be? What are you thinking you want to be? A performer, a writer, a performer?
Yeah, a performer.
Okay.
Wait, yeah.
And when you say you want to be, when you want to prepare for Broadway and get into the industry, is it industry here or industry in Broadway?
Oh yeah. So I was thinking in maybe abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
15. So you're in high school.
Yes.
Are you going to tell your parents you're gonna major in performing arts like I did, but
Yeah.
it didn't work?
Oh yeah, my parents are very supportive.
Oh, great. See, yes, millennials. Millennial parents are ini. Get it? Do we get it? Okay. So great. Well, that's a good start. Performing arts major. So kamu 15 berarti, no, you're still SMA 1.
Yes.
Okay, you still have a couple of years. So start with that. Start sekolah performing arts. Do you need suggestions? Well, right now, proven track adalah RAM, Royal Academy of Music di UK, yang ada Elhak dan Desmonda, Indonesians who are working on West End. And then we have an EMB, one of our students di Ruang Kreatif Indonesia, bukan, apa sih namanya, Intensif Musikal Budaya, namanya FC. FC itu, we call her by FC, I don't know her, ini lupa. But she just got accepted di RAM. So look into that. I think, if I may suggest, I think West End is really happening, more so than Broadway. So
Yeah.
go there. Yeah, look into that. But if you want to start, because I think you need a portfolio untuk masuk ke program-program itu, start getting a vocal coach, vocal number 1. And then, I don't know, if you're a dancer, if you like to dance, if you like to move, get a dance coach. Because I think having good coordination, badan yang enak dibawa as an actor is a point plus. Yeah, build your portfolio, join a community. So kamu sampai sana, karena most students yang masuk ke performing arts program itu biasanya mereka udah punya background yang kuat dari SMA-nya. Karena biasanya SMA-nya untuk yang di United States, SMA di United States itu music and theater programnya itu aja udah bagus-bagus. Their school productions aja udah kayak, wow, they're talented kids. So by the time they get to university, mereka tuh nggak, starting point-nya tuh nggak 0-0 banget. Beda kalau misalnya aku di sini waktu aku SD lulusan sekolah itu. You know, so get yourself involved in clubs, theater clubs and such.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kita masih ada waktu. Apakah mau lanjut Q&A? Gue baca nggak apa-apa ya. Kita transparan aja nih. Kita masih ada waktu. Apakah mau lanjut Q&A atau mau close? Lanjut atau close? Tadi ada nah lanjut. Nggak apa-apa. Nggak apa-apa. Traktir saya makan.
Malam Kak
Ya,
Pasha.
Pak.
Saya mau tanya, tadi kan menjelaskan bahwa di Broadway ini di Indonesia kan industrinya itu menjanjikan kan di Indonesia.
Did I say that?
Maksudnya seeing the possibility in
Okay,
Indonesia
yes.
growing.
Opportunity.
Opportunity gitu.
No promises.
Yang saya mau tanyakan, apakah untuk membuat satu production Broadway ini menguntungkan?
Oh.
Satu ya, karena kalau nggak menguntungkan kan ini segmented banget kan, orang yang mau nonton ini segmented banget dan adanya pun juga nggak di semua tempat, di salah satu tempat kayak Ciputra Artpreneur gitu. Terus yang ada dua sih.
Oke, nggak apa-apa.
Yang kedua itu pertanyaan tadi si Gregory ini saya tergelitik karena ngelihat di Indonesia film pemainnya itu lagi. Kalau di teater itu lagi. Nah sekarang ketika Kak Pasha menemukan salah satu talent dan ini bagus banget gitu loh, tapi nggak diambil sama sutradara. Terus bagaimana sih Kak Pasha untuk memanage hal ini dalam artian supaya si talent ini jangan sampai gone away gitu loh. Apakah tetap bersikeras harus gimana seperti itu sih? Itu aja.
Thank you for the question. Kayaknya aku lebih bisa jawab pertanyaan 2 daripada yang 1. Atau ada produser yang mau menjawab? Menguntungkan nggak ya? Menguntungkan untuk batin. Ya, menguntungkan, I think that's a business question. Di mana I think if we look at the opportunity, it should be. I don't see why not. If you look at the kalau retail supply and demand, it's there. Memang, you're right on the money. Venue di Jakarta masih terbatas. Terbatas dengan kapasitas, dengan kapasitas dan fasilitas yang berstandar Broadway ini. That's why we don't get a lot of tour shows ke Indonesia karena tidak ada teater kita yang eligible atau qualified untuk mengadakan pertunjukan mereka. So I think menguntungkan. I think it's a math question, but I think it should be menguntungkan. But I think if you want to look at it in the bigger picture, I think it's an investment that in the long run would be very, very menguntungkan. Gitu, karena karena we're in the very early stage of the industry. I think we're still figuring things out. Buildings are being built, venues are being built. Terus people are learning. Kita baru ada Indonesians yang masuk West End. So I think it's simmering gitu loh, boiling gitu. And then I think suatu saat mungkin tumpah, hujanan duit, right? Yang kedua mengenai talentnya itu aja. I hope I don't do that, and I don't intend to do that. I think I can't speak for films karena mereka mempunyai kebutuhan dan kriteria dan itu sendiri. But I think for theater is a bit different. Dalam arti teater itu, because it's live, you definitely cannot pick anybody. That's one. Karena the requirements of being able to stand 30 show every night, 8 kali show per minggu, vocally, physically, is very demanding. Itu tidak semua bisa seperti itu. Kedua, yang mempunyai vocal skill, acting skill, dancing skills, yang triple threat ini yang bisa menghidupkan not only karakter cerita, but the stage, the room, the theater mempunyai energy and presence yang bisa fill the room. That's also nggak banyak. Dan maksudnya masih belajar kami semua. So I think to answer your question, kalaupun you see the same people in musical theater on stage, it's because of that, satu. Karena memang who can fill the room itu belum banyak opsinya. For example, aku kesusahan sekali nyari karakter pria di atas 40 tahun. In every story, there's a father and mother. Nyari aktornya susah, Nek. Right? That's why you see on stage sometimes in musicals kayak, that's a 25-year-old playing a grandpa. What is he doing? Gitu. But good thing adalah I'm seeing the difference waktu even last year ketika aku audisi workshop gitu. Sorry, bukan audisi workshop. Aku bikin workshop untuk pelatihan performer. Demografiknya, profilnya, mereka usia berapa, cowoknya berapa. I'm always looking at, ini cowoknya berapa, ceweknya berapa, mereka usianya berapa. 2, last month aku bikin workshop untuk performers who wants to do theater. Prianya lebih banyak, dan lebih banyak usia di atas 35 tahun. I was so happy, so happy. Either, maybe it's also because they're saying, oh, that's an old man teaching there. I don't mind gitu. They see me as an old man. I'm like, okay. I finally kayak, mereka nyaman gitu. Ada sosok ini begini. Or they want to be a part of this growing industry musical theater ini di Jakarta. Because the opportunity is there. We have shows at least now once or twice or 3 kali every year dibanding sebelum-sebelumnya. But for me personally, aku sih tidak punya niat dan tidak suka kalau, dan selalu menjadi consideration kalau orang itu sudah sering dipakai di show-show sebelumnya, gitu. So that becomes a consideration also, which is valid juga. Tapi kalau mau dipakai lagi juga untuk valid juga. Yes, semoga itu menjawab. Ya.
Cuma masih belum dipoles, Kak. Belum dipoles dan artinya belum dilatih.
Ya.
Dan ini nggak dipilih sama sutradara gara-gara seperti tadi kata Kak Pasha.
Okay. For that particular situation,
jadi Kak Pasha akankah tetap membawa ini
orang? That depends. Ketika kita when we cast somebody, we're seeing the potential, right? We're seeing the potential. Oh, this person bisa ngeplay karakter ini. There is a training process that we do sebelum dan during rehearsal sebelum show. However, kalau kita melihat potentialnya versus membutuhkan versus waktu berapa lama kita butuh untuk melatih dia dan tidak sesuai, dalam arti kayak, wah ini nggak cukup sih kalau hanya beberapa bulan kita rehearsal terus dia jadi pas show, then we may have to go with another person, gitu. Karena my job as a director is not to coach in a production. My job as a teacher di workshop ngajarin. So that actor should have been in my workshop as a performer teacher, not in the production when I'm a director. Gitu. Jadi that becomes the actor's awareness untuk gue harus hone in my craft terus. And I think that's the difference. When I was in New York, I'm seeing Broadway actors yang tidak lagi ada kerjaan, tidak lagi dikontrak, itu join community theater. Supaya apa? Supaya mereka nggak bolong, muscle-nya nggak lemes. Mereka, they call it practice. Kalau mereka nggak masuk musical theater, mereka masih dance classes, masih vocal classes. Itu my friends yang show di Broadway, they still take classes, they still go to dance classes. And that discipline, to be honest, it's what's missing here. Audisi thinking they're good enough, jadi main karakter. Ditawarin ensemble, nggak mau. There's that attitude. And I don't want to deal with that. Gitu. So yeah, a director's job is not to train the actor. We're just directing them in the way that we think is right for the show. Gitu. But great question. Itu pertanyaan untuk Bapak atau untuk anak Bapak atau untuk teman Bapak? Okay. One more question, last one, karena lapar pasti pada. Yes, kakak. Ya ada dua. Ada dua gimana? Pilih, kamu yang pilih. Ya, ibunya tadi juga udah lanjut
Okay,
tangan.
thank you for the opportunity. My name is Esti and I'm a parent of an adult kid.
Takut gue.
All right. Okay, my question is quite technical. So you went to Ohio for
Ya, Bu silakan.
a communication bachelor, correct?
Yes,
Yes. And then for your master degree to FIT, right?
yes, business, MBA.
So I was wondering.
Kenapa, Bu?
So how you think you would be benefiting from your communication and your business degree in your career, and why didn't you take the performing art in a master degree? You took the training in performing art, right?
Uh-huh.
But you did not choose the performing art as your master degree.
Right.
So, two questions. My question is whether you has some benefit from your communication degree as well as your business degree.
Okay.
And the second one, why didn't you take the performing art as your master degree?
Okay.
That will be my question, and thank you so
Okay.
much.
Mommy, I'm sorry.
I'm not your mom.
Okay, no, it was a great question. Great question. Aku takut. Because to be honest, the reason why I'm scared of parents because I like to instill in them that look, this is a valid choice if you want to do this. But I understand the reality that we have di Jakarta. But I still like, look, if it can happen for me, it can happen to you too. You know. Anyway, kenapa ngambil performing arts di bachelor tapi nggak di S2? Kenapa S2-nya MBA? Okay. Karena, oh Lord, I think this is again my performing arts musical theater major di S1 itu lebih banyak prakteknya dibanding teori. Tentu teori ada. Dan tubuh kita masih muda. So kita masih agile, masih seperti sponge dan masih bisa diapain aja. I took ballet dan dance all of that. Itu terlambat, actually high school dan college. Tapi karena here's another part that I didn't tell you guys adalah ketika aku audition itu, aku tuh banyak gagal gara-gara somehow they can hear an accent. So, padahal, you know, I don't think I do, but they think they do, which is valid. SD, SMP, SMA di sana, where do you come from? I'm like, Indonesia. Oh, is that where the accent come from? I'm like, yeah. Karena itu, aku banyak nggak lolos. Lalu aku ngambil dialect coaching, di mana supaya I need to sound more American, you know. Lucu deh, aku di Amerika tapi but you know, I learned a lot. Tapi I think it's again, those are things that is more beneficial kalau kamu belajar earlier than later, in my opinion. So I had to do that, makanya akhirnya kalau gitu, kalau so that I could get my foot in the door. Gimana kalau aku fokus di dancing? Karena itu it doesn't require verbal anything. Then I trained my butt off di dance. I went to dance classes, to dance programs, split di umur udah tua gitu. But I did it. Karena here's another thing. Untuk audisi Broadway, especially for dancers, you have to be able to do triple pirouettes or forget it. So I was like Billy Elliot at 20-year-old. Determined to be able to do all of that. Jadi that was the benefits of taking musical theater training younger than later. Terus juga setelah tuwe, setelah dewasa, I feel like that's when reality hits. Bahwa, this body tidak selamanya bisa disuruh begitu, right? And then at the time I was already teaching a lot, and I was a choreographer. Cuman I also felt the need untuk mempunyai business skills or financial management skills to be able to support this. Yang ternyata becomes handy now that I have my own production company. As a startup, what do you need to prepare? Legalnya apa? Financial investmentnya gimana? Capitalnya gimana? All of that menjadi ternyata ya beneficial juga, berbuah. So I think tidak ada benar atau salah. It all depends on where you are, atau mungkin anak ibu di posisi mana. Karena on the other hand, cerita Elhak dan I kept referring to them because I know them and they were, we were in the same ini. But Desmonda sama Elhak itu S2 mereka performing arts-nya di RAM. Lalu dan mereka scholarship. And then lalu mereka masih di sana bekerja. So mine happened waktu S1 kerja di sana, and now I'm here. So I don't think there's right or wrong way. Cuman mereka S2-nya masih muda juga. Mereka di mid-20s masih, I think. They're in their 20s. Aku waktu S2 aku udah mid-30s. Ngumpulin uang dulu. So yes, semoga menjawab Ibu. Udah minus 2.30, kayak kita mesti pulang guys. Terima kasih banyak ya. Thank you so much. Thank you. Apa?
Okay, yes, boleh duduk lagi Kak. Thank you so much Kak Pasha. Can we give another big round of applause for the great presentation? Yes, makasih ya Kak. And everyone, I hope that today's discussion has given you a better understanding of what goes into musical theater, from the different elements that bring a performance to life, to the influence of Broadway, and also the experiences shared by our speaker today. And before I wrap up today's event, ini adalah waktunya untuk reveal our question of the day's answer. Earlier, we asked our online audience a question, which is, which of these musical features the song Defying Gravity? And the correct answer for the question is B, Wicked. Defying Gravity is one of the most iconic songs from the Wicked movie performed by Elphaba. Shout out and also congratulations to @Leo Mokodompit from YouTube for being the fastest participant who can guess the question correctly. Boleh tepuk tangannya, yay! Yes. And before I wrap up today's session, aku mau mengingatkan sekali lagi untuk teman-teman yang hadir di sini, if you guys enjoying today's session, don't forget to also attend our second part for An America Academy Getting into Musical Theater di tanggal 26 Agustus jam 7 malam, where we will be exploring opportunities and also career pathways in musical theater, both on stage and also behind the scene. Jadi kalau teman-teman tertarik nih untuk berkarir di dunia Broadway atau musical, boleh langsung datang datang aja ke our next event sekali lagi di tanggal 26 jam 7 malam where Kak Pasha will also be our speakers and facilitator for that day. Dan juga biar teman-teman dapat sertifikat dari kita kalau misalkan you guys attend both of our At America Academy this month. And if you would like to know more about our upcoming events, you guys can consider to follow our social media platforms. We have at YouTube, Instagram, X, and Facebook at AT America, or visit us in our official website at www.atamerica.or.id to get to know more about our program. And with that, thank you so much for your participation today, everyone. My name is Naura, and I will see you guys at the next At America event. Bye, everyone. Thank you.